Hi you guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, this is my channel Alicia Dion, and here we talk about pretty much everything IBS, bloating, any kind of condition that you can think of. So welcome to my channel, and while you're here, why don't you jump on down to that subscribe button and hit the like. This is a video really on how to lose weight after lockdown, and it is 100% IBS friendly, and just to help you guys master weight loss. Because if I'm being real with you guys, I personally did not enjoy lockdown. It wasn't a great time. The best way I can describe it was kind of this swirling cesspool of sweatpants, pajamas, not going anywhere, not doing anything, comfort eating, binge eating, waist expanding crap. And if you suffer from IBS or any other bloating conditions, then it was probably also a time of IBS flare-ups, cramps, stress bloats, anxiety bloats, weight gain, and a whole lot of crying. And my lockdown transformation was to go from 67 kilos to 82 kilos. So I gained a whole lot of weight. The heaviest I have ever been in my entire life. As of yesterday, I hit my 10 kilo weight loss goal, and I have 5 more to go. Was it easy? No, but I learned a lot along the way. It wasn't until I started looking at it as an IBS sufferer or a bloating sufferer, I started listening to my body, listening to my cramps, listening to my bloat, listening to the triggers, to how stressed and anxious lockdown actually made me. And it wasn't until I took all of those factors into consideration that I finally started to see the weight on the scale go down. So we're going to jump straight in on how to master weight loss when you have IBS, bloating, and any other digestive problems. So loving this new tripod. It's making my life so much freaking easier. So the first thing that I want to talk about is NEAT, and that is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that is basically all the calories you burn, like making a cup of tea, walking about the house, cooking dinner, that kind of energy expenditure. That's where you're burning your NEAT calories. Now, I don't know about you, but lockdown for me was a time of binge eating, overeating, cooking for the sake of cooking from pure boredom. There was no need to get dressed in the morning. There was no need to go anywhere. Literally nothing. So if that lockdown sounds like the lockdown that you were experiencing, then your NEAT probably went through the floor. And here's the problem with that. You burn so many calories just in NEAT. Probably more than you will burn doing any kind of exercise. Even if you did an hour of cardio, you still probably will have burnt more that day in the 23 other hours where you were just pottering about and doing small things. So you might have clicked on this video because you know the basics of weight loss, you know you need to be in a calorie deficit, you know you need to be staying active and exercising, and you're doing all those things and the weight's not changing. Well, it might be your NEAT, and the way you can fix that is quite simple. Decide to go for a walk around the block 10 minutes before work and 10 minutes after work. You can set a timer on your phone for every hour, and every hour you're going to stand up from your desk, you're going to do some jumping jacks, you're going to wiggle about, you're going to do whatever you need to do. Whenever you take meetings, maybe take them on your phone instead of your laptop so that you can plug your headphones into your phone and walk around your room taking that meeting. Just those paces that you're going to build up, you're going to increase the amount of calories that you are burning, your heart rate's going to be higher, your joints are going to be happier, your posture is going to be better, and your NEAT expenditure is going to increase. That, along with a good diet and enough exercise, you are going to see the number on those scales plummeting to the ground. Tip number 2 is a pretty obvious one, and that is exercise. If you clicked on this video and you haven't been doing any exercise, then losing weight isn't going to be that easy. You can definitely lose weight just in a calorie deficit, but forcing your body to need to burn that fat, need to make that energy from those fat cells, you are going to see such a better improvement. Not only that, but lower mortality rates, you'll be healthier, less visceral fat, better circulation. Exercise is something that we should all be doing on a regular basis. Now, if you haven't started doing any exercise, I would highly advise that you start off slow. I would suggest that you start somewhere around the mark of 2 times a week. But one of the things I would say is that I would try and hit around 7,500 to 10,000 steps every single day. That doesn't really count as your exercise. When I say exercise, I'm thinking you're breaking a sweat, you're either lifting heavy, or your heart rate is nice and high and you are burning those calories for about 20 to 30 minutes. That's what I would classify as a good workout session. But to be honest with you, even if you start with exercising once a week, I would still say aim for 7,500 to 10,000 steps every single day. Make it a non-negotiable, make it something you're gonna achieve, because I promise you, if you push yourself to achieve that, you are gonna see such incredible incredible results. Not to mention, if your IBS is something that you think is really holding you back, walking those steps is going to increase gut motility and it's going to help you not flare up, reduce water retention, and just feel so much better in yourself. It will also help your body regulate itself, give it a bit of routine. If you think about it, if your body's going nowhere and doing nothing every single day, it's probably at a loose end and has no idea what to do with itself. And then of course, once you feel comfortable, you can increase this. So I would say aim to work out 4 to 5 times a week. So if you start at once, next week go to 2 times a week, then 3 times a week, and so on. Every single day or 6 times a week, hitting that 7,500 to 10,000 step goal. Now, the second thing I want to mention about exercise is types. And the main thing I want to say to you is, yes, cardio is amazing, but it's a tool, not a solution. You can't look at cardio as a way to earn your calories, and that isn't the way you should think of fat loss or calorie consumption anyway. But if you really want to make a difference, you need to start looking at cardio as a tool. Once you've built up to 4 to 5 workouts a week, you should be doing cardio 3 to 4 times a week for about 20 to 30 minutes. Adding into these workouts, you need to be doing some form of resistance training. And by resistance training, I mean weight training. If you're watching this worried that you're going to get bulky, I promise you, you're not. Go get yourself some resistant bands or just 1 set of dumbbells, or get yourself back to the gym and start lifting those weights. Increase the amount of protein in your diet, and what that's going to do is it's going to fatigue the muscle and it's going to build the muscle. When muscle builds, it becomes damaged and then it heals itself. And here's the beautiful thing about resistance training as opposed to cardio. Once you have finished doing cardio, yes, your heart rate will stay high for a certain amount of time and your body has to do some work to get back to where it was before, but nowhere near on the level on when it's doing muscle repair. So if you work your muscles really hard, they take 24 to 48 hours to properly heal. And the calories that your body burns healing itself is exponentially higher than it would if you go for a 30-minute jog. So resistance training and weight training is a cornerstone in losing weight, because you're not working out for the next 24 hours, but your body is still burning calories because of that amazing 20-30 minute session you did on the weight rack. Now, I would just say, if you're going to start lifting weights and you've never done it before, consult a professional trainer on how to lift safely, know your limits, and make sure that you take it slow. Tip number 3 is the most basic tip that I can give you. And it's something that a million other people have told you, and you already know this piece of information. You have to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. That is just the plain, simple fact of the matter. And you can decide what's easier for you, eating less, exercising more. Either way, it has to be sustainable. Yes, you can lose weight by being in a calorie deficit, but you have to think of the long term as well. What are you going to do once you hit your goal weight? Are you going to be able to maintain that weight, or do you need time to put more muscle on so that your BMR is high enough to maintain that weight at the end? Now, there are so many apps and things out there that you can use to work out your correct calories that you need for the day. I personally think that one of the best ways that you can do it is by using a smart scales. It knows exactly how much muscle you have, it knows how much fat you have, and it knows your age, weight, everything else, and how many calories you're going to burn per gram of your very individual self. I have come across another thing, and I only came across it recently. If you don't have a smart scales, or you don't think that the calories that you've got currently worked out are very accurate, and it is called the Harrison-Benedict calculator. You can literally just type it on into Google, and then what I want you to do is jump onto the advanced mode. And the advanced mode will also take into consideration how sedentary your lifestyle is. Are you sat at a desk all day? Are you working out once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? What is your lifestyle like? Then what I want you to do is take away 500 calories from the amount that this calculator throws out. And if you stick to that, you're definitely going to lose weight. I personally think calorie counting is a brilliant way to know how much you're eating and exactly what's going into your body. What I don't think is very good is maintaining it for a very long time. So this is what I did. I set an end date for how long I was going to calorie count. So I think I calorie counted for about 3 weeks. And you just set an end date. And basically you learn so much about portions of food. You learn so much about how many calories are in different things. And yes, it can become quite obsessive, but take it as a learning course on exactly what's in your fridge. The things that you eat on a regular basis. What do they cost you in calories? And then after a couple of weeks, you're going to be able to eyeball your foods so much more accurately. And then what I would do to maintain this is once a week or once a fortnight, calorie count that entire day as accurately as possible, just to remind yourself what those portion sizes are supposed to look like for the calories that you're aiming for every day. Get myself comfy. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is weighing yourself at the wrong time. Now, with IBS, so many things in our body are kind of drama queens. They blow things so out of proportion. It's being a drama queen. It's freaking out. And that means that there are things like water retention going on. There's excess mucus, excess hormones. Your food isn't being digested. You're constipated. There is so much going on with IBS and bloating that in terms of weight loss, you sometimes aren't going to have a clue how you're doing. You have no idea. Because if your body is retaining a litre of water, that's a kilo. If you're constipated and haven't pooed in a couple of days, that's another kilo. And until your body lets it all go, you have no idea what your actual body weight is. If you don't understand that, if you don't realize that your body is kind of working against you when it comes to IBS, you're gonna feel like you're getting nowhere. And it's just not the case. And I think a lot of the time, in terms of IBS-friendly weight loss, in order to master weight loss when you have IBS, you have to listen to your body. There are days when I'm like, I've definitely eaten in a calorie deficit for the last 3 days, but you feel a little bit bunged up, heavier and frumpier and less comfortable, more bloated. If you weigh yourself, that's gonna show. You're gonna have a couple of kilos of stuff that you're gonna let go at some point in the next 7 days, and it's gonna show up on the scales, and it's not fat. You need to understand that when you're weighing yourself, you need to be smart about it. Now, I personally think that weighing yourself as a woman is kind of a catch-22, and here's for why. We have periods. You can gain between 2 and 5 pounds in the week running up all the way through your period. That's 2 weeks of a 28-day cycle. That is so much weight. That's like your weight loss over the course of possibly 3 weeks. You might wake up one morning and weigh yourself and think that you've lost all of your progress. It's a horrible concoction of menstruation, ovulation, periods, hormones, constipation, diarrhea, cramps, inflammation. There is so much going on. And until you really give yourself the credit you deserve for being a human on this earth with IBS, you're really gonna struggle to feel good about yourself. So here are my tips for you in terms of that particular point. You have to track your cycle. I went years not tracking it, and I thought, what's the point? It's gonna come either way. It's just extra effort. I've learned so much, and I feel so much better about my body and my emotions, because sometimes I don't feel good and I think I have no reason to feel this way, and then I can check in with where I am in my cycle, and then I'm thinking, those hormones are the reason that I feel this way today. Or that's why I'm 3 kilos heavier on my bloody scales, even though I've been really good. And if you just stick with it for another week, you'll get this whoosh effect and all of that weight will fall off. And the other way that you can help deal with this is my next tip, and that is have more than one way to measure your progress. I personally measure myself every 2 weeks with a tape measure, and I have a really good guide. Not only that, but if I'm ever buying online clothes, it's super helpful because I can go to their size guide, and in my little book, I know exactly. Let me get my book for you. Let me get it. Ooh, my broken foot. It hurts. Right. This is my body measurements. Now this is gonna link into my next little tip with IBS weight loss as well, but this really helped me losing weight after lockdown, because I think my IBS was so messed up from all of the overeating, emotional eating, anxiety, stress. You know, sometimes when I'm not seeing that number on the scale move and I feel really deflated, and then my measure day is in a couple of days time and I've gone down a centimeter in 3 areas, I feel so much better. And I'm so ready to keep going with my diet, keep going with my exercise, and just feel good about myself. Now this really nicely brings me into the next thing that I want to say, and that is to set short-term and long-term goals, plus your dream. Your long-term goal shouldn't necessarily be your dream. Your dream is, you know, the body that you aspire to be. My next tip for you guys is a really simple one, and one that I've mentioned a million times before. Stay hydrated. For your first week in your weight loss journey, I actually would advise that you start somewhere between the 3.5 to 4.5 litre mark every single day. And that's really going to help get rid of any of that water retention. Water retention is a bit backwards. When people say that your body is retaining water, the last thing you think in a logical sense is, oh, then I'll give my body more water because it'll just hold on to it, and surely that would make it worse. But no, if you give your body more water, this is what it does. It convinces your body that more water's on the way and that it can relax and let go of the water that it's hanging on to. So this is the water bottle that I have every single day. I have this. Now, I really like cold water, so I have a metal one, and it keeps it cold, and I absolutely love that. In the fridge, waiting for me, I have 500 mils of water becoming nice and chilly. And then I also have a water filter, which is gonna help, you know, keep on track. This is ready to go into there, which goes into there, and that's my little process of cold water and hydration. Also, cold water has the amazing ability to boost your metabolism by up to 10%. Now, why does it do that? Well, because if you're drinking cold water, your body runs at 37 degrees centigrade for the majority of people. So it needs to expend energy, burn fat, and make heat in order to heat up that water so that it can be digested in a safe fashion. And I'm making the floor really wet, so I'm gonna stop. This is a bad idea. Please go online, have a quick read for your body weight, how much you should be drinking. My other big tip in terms of IBS and drinking water is this: do not drink for the 30 minutes before your meal. And here's why. Your stomach acid is exactly that. Acidic, and it's acidic for a reason. It needs to be able to digest the food that you eat. If you drink water which has a pH of 7, you're going to dilute your stomach acid. You're not going to be digesting as quickly or efficiently. Food will sit there longer, it'll sit in your gut for longer, and it will become irritated, and that can cause flare-ups, bloating, cramped, and overproduction of hormones and mucus. My 8th and final tip for you guys is don't rely on motivation. IBS can mess severely with your mood, motivation, anxiety, depression, and I have a whopping great big video coming out about that. So in terms of motivation ways you can make a vision board. I love a good vision board. Set yourself your small goals and your deadlines to meet them, and then have consequences attached to them. Don't meet that weigh-in, there's a consequence. That is something that has helped me so much with sticking to my goals. I really hope this video helped you with ideas on how to master weight loss in an IBS friendly way. There is so much in terms of IBS that we need to know. We need to learn about our bodies, because at the end of the day, it's part of us, it's part of our bodies, and it's something that we have to live with. So you really need to be listening to ways to lose weight from people who have IBS or have a condition that you have, because the fact is people who don't have these conditions will not face the same struggles that you do when it comes to weight loss. You can 100% do it. I am the standing living proof. And if you guys have any more tips, please drop them in the comment section below. If you have any questions for me, you can jump on over to my Instagram, which I will just link my handle for you right there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and why not jump on down to that subscribe button at the same time. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I have had so much fun making it, and I will see you next week. Bye!